Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, guys. We're going to be going over Season 2 of the Daryl Dixon Book of Carol Season 2 and ranking the episodes from worst to best. So you guys know I love to do these after the end of every season of The Walking Dead franchise. I do them every season, and well, this season was very interesting. Of course, you can check out my review, my full in-depth review that we went into yesterday for Daryl Dixon Season 2, the Book of Carol. But now we're going to rank all 6 of these episodes and discuss them and talk about, in my opinion, why I would say certain ones worked and why certain ones didn't. Overall, I'd say that's kind of the general consensus this season, is that certain episodes worked and certain episodes didn't. But overall, I think it was a very enjoyable season. But now to rank the episodes is a whole other thing, because I admittedly was torn on certain ones, and I actually was kind of like, man, I don't know which one I prefer, you know? So this is what we've come up with. This is what we have. Rank your list down below, your least to favorite episode of Season 2. And without further ado, let's get right into this. So, kicking it off with my number 6, my least favorite episode this season, it's going to go to 204. Now, 204 is, I just don't like this episode that much. I don't hate it. I don't really hate it. I don't even really dislike it too much. I just find that it does a lot of things that really messes with the story. You know, the overhyped of Ick came back and then nothing about it, you know, like they just troll us. You know, Isabel's death, probably the worst decision they've ever made in this show. Janae's death, while I liked it, I thought the location was really bad. The old people felt like absolute filler. The battle at the nest, though it was decently enjoyable, I didn't find that it lasted as long as it should have. And I think that Lo Zhang taking over the Pouvoir was a big problem. Episode 4, I think, is a very problematic episode, and it's not exactly all that enjoyable for me, at least. But I will say this, the Daryl and Carol reunion was great, but even that was tainted, in my opinion, by killing Isabel off 2 seconds later. You know what I mean? So even that, I would say, has its fair share of problems. Number 5 is then going to be 201. Now, 201 is still kind of weaker, in my opinion, but the thing about this one that I prefer over episode 4, at least a little bit, is that it's at least kind of a slow, boring episode, which, yes, yeah, boring is, you know, not good. That's why it's still number 5. I was a little bored during this episode, especially with the Carol stuff, but I will say this, either way, it's more, I'd rather be bored than be frustrated, you know what I mean? You don't want to be frustrated. When you're frustrated, it's not fun to watch. At least being bored, you're kind of like, okay, you know, but we could look forward to other things. Episode 4 was terrible. Episode 1, I would say in general, I think episode 1 really did its job when it comes to setting up the story, what Carol was doing. I just felt like the episode was way too dragged out, very boring, but it was still, you know, good in certain areas. Like, I liked certain elements. I liked Daryl and his plot with the nest, and I liked certain elements of Carol's plot that episode, so it wasn't all bad. I would say that episode is just, you know, kind of below average, but that's about it. Number 4 is then going to go to episode 2. Now, episode 2, I thought was mostly enjoyable. I liked the nest plot. I liked the goose chase that our characters go on. I liked the reveal of Lo Zhang and what he's doing. I thought that was all really interesting stuff. I did enjoy a alright amount of Carol's plot when she got to France, although the main reason why this is still a little bit lower is because I didn't enjoy the Greenland plot with those 2 girls. I didn't enjoy that plot at all. It felt like fluff. The acting from them, no offense to them, of course, was really bad, and I just didn't buy it. I just simply did not buy it whatsoever. But, you know, like I said, that's about it. Aside from that, I really enjoyed that episode. It was really good. And I thought, for the most part, it was enjoyable. Number 3 is then going to be the season finale. The season finale, I'd actually say, is near perfect. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. You know, I love the plane takeoff. I like the action. I like Daryl and Caudron's talk around the campfire. I thought that was a nice moment between them. Caudron in general, that episode was really great. I liked Anna's death. I thought she went out like a pretty badass character. I liked all the setup. I liked a lot of what they did. But also, I will admit that you know, I didn't really feel like Gensita was a good enough villain for this episode, and I also don't really like anything to do with the cave, or not the cave, the tunnel, sorry. I felt like a cave, but I didn't like the tunnel, because I didn't like Caudron flipping, I didn't like the Carol stuff, that felt really old and overdone, and with Sophia. Daryl getting captured by those two guys, didn't care about it. The episode fumbled at the end, but for the most part, I enjoyed it, so I'd still put it at number 3 over these other episodes, but it definitely had its frustrating elements, I will say that. Coming in at number 2 is then going to be episode 3. Now, this episode, I'd say I mostly enjoyed everything about this one. I mean, this one was really great. We got Janae's backstory. We got Carol, of course, in Janae's compound and the stuff going on there. I enjoyed the shootout at the nest. I enjoyed the battle sequences. The action, I'd say, is at an all-time high this episode. It was really good. My only real nitpick is that I feel like we could have gotten more information on how Janae built her group up, but aside from that, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. But in my opinion, the best episode this season, the one that stood out to me the most as being just the most enjoyable, is episode 5. And I'll tell you why. I enjoyed Caudron. Bringing him into the fold again was great, and that was the first episode they did that in. Caudron was a beast this episode, and I really liked him. Reintroducing Anna, Quinn's, club and all that, really good stuff there. I enjoyed, all the action sequences with the walkers, the, in the car stuff and the exploding walkers and all this other stuff. I loved the Lozang fight in the catacombs. I thought that was fantastic. Really good two-way fight going on there. And I thought it was really enjoyable. They did a really good job with it. Carol was finally honest with Ash. I'd say the only minor real nitpick I have is I felt like Laurent's reaction to Isabel's death was a little sucky. But aside from that, I thought it was really good. And I thought the episode was really enjoyable. It's the best one this season, which, again, I'll say this, it really proves my point even more that The Ones Who Live is a more powerful show, because by the time I got to number 3, number 2, number 1 favorite episodes of that season, I was singing its praises, you know what I mean? This season, I'm like, okay, the best episode's episode 5, an episode that I still have nitpicks with, it goes to show you that this is definitely the weakest season of the modern day Walking Dead spinoffs. But again, not a bad season whatsoever, just not as enjoyable as some of the recent Walking Dead universe seasons, but again, that's just my opinion, of course. Let me know your thoughts down below. What are your favorite episodes of Daryl Dixon from worst to best for Season 2, Book of Carol? And of course, guys, if you enjoyed my list, if you enjoyed my ranking, make sure, of course, to click the subscribe button. Make sure, of course, to also follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies need a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shed a TV light.